Scheduling PowerShell 7 in Windows Task Scheduler presented by Krystian Zieja. Demo will be presented using Windows Server 2025. However, it will work the same on all modern Windows Server and client systems. First, I will show you how to define PowerShell 7 scheduled task using Graphical user interface. Later, I will show you how you can use PowerShell to perform the same operation, which can be handy if you want to automate task creating, for instance, using Intune scripts or remediations. So, let's start with opening Task Scheduler. We open it as an administrator just to be able to define a scheduled task to be run as local system. We hit Create Task link to start defining new scheduled task. In the New Task window, we provide the task name and select the task to be run as a local system. The user you will use is up to you. Next, we define the trigger, which in this case will be a schedule that runs out script indefinitely every 5 minutes. In the action pane, we will define proper commands to run PowerShell 7 script. The sample script is extremely basic. It just writes the date for a file in C:\TMP folder. Let's go back to Task Scheduler and create our action. As executable, we provide PWSH, which is PowerShell 7. In argument text box, let's type no profile to run a script without loading PowerShell profile. Window style hidden to disable showing PowerShell window. Execution policy bypass to override PowerShell script execution policy defined on the machine. This is not recommended switch from security perspective, but is useful for the demo. Finally, we provide a path to a script using file parameter. Next, we can review other task properties, but we are not going to change anything. We hit OK to create our task. Finally, let us wait and verify that our task is working as expected. Once the task was executed, we can open the text file and verify that the line was added. Let us wait 5 more minutes to verify that the task will be executed one more time. Finally, let us delete the scheduled task. Now let us remove the test text file. The next example, I will demonstrate how you can set up scheduled task using PowerShell script, which is a handy technique to use when you would like to deploy scheduled tasks using for Intune. The script is straightforward. The first thing we define an action using New-ScheduledTaskAction, providing PWSH as execute parameter value and no profile, window-style hidden execution policy bypass, and file as the value of the parameter argument, which mimics what we have done in the graphical user interface. Next, we define the trigger using New-ScheduledTaskTrigger command let. This command let allows you to configure both types of triggers, based on schedule and based on events like logon. We also need to define the security principal under which the task will be executed. This is done using New-ScheduledTaskPrincipal command let, and in this instance, we selected local system account. Just for demonstration purposes, we will use New-ScheduledTaskSettingSet that allows you to modify all the properties of the task. I highly encourage you to check Microsoft documentation for all settings you can configure using this command let. Once we have all the components created, we can create new task using New-ScheduledTask command let. Finally, we need to register our scheduled task in Windows Task Scheduler using Register Scheduled Task. Finally, let us run the script. Since we define the task to run as local system, we need to use PowerShell with administrative privileges. Next, we can review our newly created task in UI. Finally, let us check if the scheduled task works as expected. As we can see, everything worked as expected. This concludes our demonstration. You can find the links to sample PowerShell scripts in the description.